Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our final session on day one at the annual conference 2017 of the Indian Institute of Internal Auditors Bombay chapter. We'd like to thank our partners and associates, conference partners Deloitte, EY, KPMG and NKGSP Bank, associate partner A&B Solutions, technology partner Laser from eTrends, association partners Bombay Chartered Accountants Society and Association of Certified Fraud Examiners. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the IIA Bombay Chapter Annual Excellence Awards. It's my privilege and pleasure to begin by inviting our distinguished jury on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the past President, Institute of Internal Auditors India, Independent Director, NKGSP Bank, Advisor, Privy Organics Limited, a Fairbridge PE company. Please put your hands together and welcome on stage the Chairman of the Jury, Mr. Nagesh Pinge. He is Asia Pacific Regional Leader, Internal Audit Deloitte, where he also leads the Deloitte India Internal Audit Practice and is Chief Financial Officer, Program Leader for India. A warm welcome to Mr. Porus Doctor. He is Head of Internal Audit, Metro Shoes Limited and Vice President, IIA Bombay Chapter and member of the Guidance Development Committee of IIA Global. A warm welcome to Manoj Agarwal. And ladies and gentlemen, to take us through the awards, it's over to the Chairman of the Jury, Mr. Nagesh Pinge. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Yogo. Good afternoon to all of you. I think you have seen three of us here. We had a terrific time. And just to give you a little bit of background to this, every year, since last many years, in fact, we have been giving three kinds of awards to regular, I would say, entries, as I call it, being given to us by corporate world. And in that context, since last many years, we have been doing this regularly. We have been choosing companies who are demonstrating some innovativeness in the way they deliver their internal audit practices. So we have come out with three awards. One of them is the award for innovation, anything new idea. And it is not that the ideas will be extremely new kind of things, but maybe there is a possibility that other corporates also must have done that particular part. But the way they put it together, the way they communicate also counts a lot. As I talked in the pre-lunch session, I said packaging also counts a lot. So I think that also plays a very critical role. Then one is the innovation. The second one is if there is some new technology related thing, if the companies and corporates have invented and they have adopted that, which reduces their work, which probably enhances their productivity, or it can even enhance their capability to extract data. So that also is something which is recognized. And last but not least, and this is where some of the organizations who have ably demonstrated that they have invariably taken innovative efforts as well as technology to ensure that their overall productivity is optimized. That doesn't mean that they reduce the cost. So probably their coverage has gone up, their effectiveness has gone up, and probably they have won more accolades and probably recognition from their audit committees in that regard. So I think in that context, we got 11 entries overall. And what happened is this time around, I think we received 2 entries from service providers as well. And in that context, basically, those service providers are, of course, limited companies in their own right. They did it. But then while reviewing, we realized that they have come out with those, whatever that innovations or whatever that technology they have implemented, they had not done for themselves, but for their customers in that regard. So I think it was a conscious decision taken by IIA Bombay since last many years that people who are giving the service providers thing should be excluded from this particular part. So taking that same stand, we had to, in fact, weed out those two entries. But I must say those entries were very, very interesting. And we could clearly see that there are a lot of innovations that are happening beyond this kind of corporate world. So I think this is where in consultation with IIA Bombay, which I think Burzin has already agreed, because next year he will take on as the chief of at the IIA Bombay, it has been agreed that next year there will be a special category of service providers as well, where they will also, in their category, they will be given respective kind of awards on that account. So I think that's a great initiative, Burzin. So I think we will hear, in fact, a lot of those innovative ideas, because whatever little we saw, they have done fantabulously well. And I think my feeling is, their ideas will come in very handy for many people on that account. So I think service providers also should be included in this particular thing. So that's what we have agreed on. So that I thought we'll announce it. So now in this context, out of 11, since 2 were weeded out, there were 9 entries and there were 3 awards. So I think let me first of all start with the innovation awards. Is that right? So you want to talk about it, or I should do the thing? Okay. I think we got a lot of great innovative ideas from their applications. Many people have come out with brilliant kind of thoughts, brilliant kind of ideas on that account, and they've implemented it also. But we liked one entry, which was a unanimous decision. Incidentally, I will tell you all the 3 decisions are unanimous in that regard. We liked one big organization for their innovative practice which they had done. This particular company is a big engineering company, and in fact they call that, they call it as a typical word which they use. I always get confused with that word, which is they call it image engineering. So they believe that they are a pure engineering company, and so much so that whatever innovative idea they have come out with, they are converting virtually everybody, including internal auditor, into an engineer. So I think in that context, one of the innovative idea they have come out and they have implemented it. It's not that others have not done it. For instance, where I was working in my organization where I retired, and I'm sure a lot of people, we have a philosophy of technical audits. But here, the company does a brilliant job of carrying out many technical audits, and their contents, their observations are so technical that they involve respectively people from the business as guest auditors. They have their own engineers working on these assignments in that regard. So this technical audit consists of guest auditors as well as their own people, and it doesn't stop there. They also liaise and coordinate very well with the rest of the team, including their operational excellence team. They have in fact almost adopted them as their co-partners in that regard. And it doesn't stop there. Apparently, all their internal audits, like most of the other people, we have programs called Finance for Non-Finance Executives. This particular organization, in fact, encourages the internal auditors to convert themselves into what they call engineering for commerce. So apparently, they want everyone to become engineers in their own way. So I think let's put your hands together and let me declare winner for this particular company, none other than, you want to announce the name?
L&T.
We request Satish Shenoy to come up. He is the Chief Internal Auditor. Satish, will not let you go just like that. I want you to talk about it, what exactly your innovations are, and what are the initiatives that you have taken? I've already talked about it, but it'll be great if you can talk about it. And I think great to see your team also here. So congratulations to all of you on that.
At last, I got the mic. I was waiting since morning, and thank you everybody for.
And that's
award.
with award, huh?
Where do I start? Burzin was telling me to start that I want to thank my parents and my neighbors and my philosophers and friends and guides, and so I won't do all that because I'm fully aware that there are 2 more awards, and hopefully I'm not the recipient of that one as well. Otherwise, again, I'll have to come up and bore you guys. Innovation thrives on encouragement and dies with routine, regulations, and bureaucracy. Let me put on my specs because innovation requires a little clarity as well. Creativity is thinking new things. Innovation is doing new things. The problem is never to get new innovative ideas. It is how to get old ones out. So I think on these 3 principles, we have cast our work that is being done. More than what we do, I think we are forced to do what we have been doing in terms of, ours is basically an engineering company, but there's so much of different businesses within the L&T group. I don't want to talk about all the businesses, but one size doesn't fit all, and I'm sure, Manoj Agarwal will love this statement that one size doesn't fit all. He's in the shoe industry. Therefore, I think it's important that we have different kind of skill sets that come into doing the particular job. What we have really done within the organization is get engineers into the department. We've been trying since long. We've been succeeding, not fully succeeding, but succeeding to the extent that we can. And because this particular aspect does not fully meet the requirements, we have at least for large projects, and we have big projects within the company, sometimes more than 4,000 crores. For that, we have the concept of guest auditors, and for that you require very good relationship with the auditees as well, and therefore the size of the organization being large, we are in a position to get engineers from different businesses to do audit. And I think that has helped us tremendously in coming out with some different observations which are helpful, if I can say so, to the management. So with these words, and without drawing on the patience level of the other 2 award winners, I thought I'll at least say this much. Thanks for giving me the mic and the award, of course. You'd like to say something?
Yeah.
Yes, I request my team member, he is a chartered accountant, and you'll wonder whether he's an engineer. And if you hear the engineer, you'll wonder whether he's an accountant.
Hi, my name is Sriram. I'm a chartered accountant. So first, thanks to IIA, thanks to our company for the opportunity, thanks to Satish sir also. What this innovation has actually done is that when we go to the project sites or wherever it is to talk to engineers, we are not in parlance with them. They talk technical stuff, we talk financial stuff. Now, bringing in a mixture of both, we get a lot of stuff from our engineers that when we put forth some ideas to them, they are receptive to it now. And they can also understand it better that we quote some technical standards or the other technical stuff also. So this has been helping us grow a lot. I did not want to do engineering in my school, but now I am getting a knowledge of it. So thank you for that.
Thank you. And I think I'm feeling great because Satish and we worked together in another organization prior to that. So it's a great kind of things on that account. So great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All the best. Now is the time for the second award. And someone is getting ready to pick it up. Who's that guy? Anyway, I think we are talking about a company which has won the technology award. What we liked about this particular award is, this particular company is one of the big company. Frankly speaking, internal audit department also is very big. they could have taken a call to say, let's go ahead and pick up something from, one of the other service providers who's working on a typical internal audit software or some data extraction tool we will do on their own. They didn't do that. They decided that whatever business intelligence tool their entire organization is working on can be leveraged on that particular part. So I think there was one nice software which the entire organization was working. The entire data was sitting on that particular part. These people decided to work on the same with the idea to do what we call the cost rationalization, cost optimization, to carry on an assignment which is an enterprise-wide assignment of rationalization of cost. So, the charity begins at home, as we call it. They decided that first of all, they will save on this software. They will use the same software and will create something which will keep them in good, stead and health over a period of time. So that's a great initiative from their time. So they didn't spend anything, probably on license fees they may have paid for some extra thing, but which I think, knowing that particular thing, it will be very insignificant. They use the same, and by virtue of that, they created a nice dashboard, I'm told. By virtue of that, they are literally monitoring the cost, which are fixed cost, variable cost, and all those things to see whether they are within that budget or not. Now you will say, is that the part of audit? They are doing it in such a way that apparently I'm told it's an internal audit come some sort of an value add to the business. So I think we like that idea, and that is where they have absorbed the existing technology to leverage on that particular part. So I think we would like to invite them here. So before we do that, I think you will be declaring the winner this time around, Manoj. So I think you should do that. So this is the
winner is Ambuja Cements.
We request their Chief Internal Auditor Prabhakar Mukhopadhyay to come here. And then now, Prabhakar, I think I've already talked about what all you have done, but I think it'll be nice if you can elaborate that a little more on what exactly you have done on that.
Good afternoon, friends. First of all, before I say thanks, I just want to start with a peculiar incident, because I have a lot of similarities with Swati Senoy. First of all, I started my career in Hindustan Petroleum. He also started his career in Hindustan Petroleum. 4 years back, I left L&T when he was there. Actually, so it's a continuation of price, I will say, from my previous organization to my current organization. The property where he is staying now, that property, when I was the regional finance manager of Indian Oxygen, I sold that property to Kalpataru, where he is staying. He has a Bong connection. I am also Bengali. So there are a lot of connections, and now the last one is that recipient of the IIA awards. On behalf of Ambuja Cements Limited, my sincere thanks to IIA Bombay chapter as well as to the jury members for considering our nominations. Basically, since beginning, what we are hearing from all the speakers are nothing but there are a lot of changes are happening. I will say this is a paradigm shift in internal audit regime. Now we are no longer only the transaction level auditors. So whatever only thing where we can sustain, as Mr. Pinge also told in his speech, is that based on 3 A's. One is we have to accept, we have to acquire, and we have to adjust. And so as in Ambuja, actually other than internal audit also, we are helping management in some cases on the management reviews on different matters. One of that, 2 years back, we took a project called Project Sankalp, where it is nothing but a fixed cost optimization project. And we had an existing application which is called ClickView. One of my previous speaker just before this session, he was showing that ClickView. ClickView application was available within the organization. With zero cost, we utilize that in a better manner on analysis and getting the reports. And the output we have seen, it is very nice, and we are relying on that. And secondly, I will say it's like an innovation by a younger person. So I have a lot of people in my team who are currently on field, so that's why I couldn't be here. But at least I have 2 team members. One is Shubham Mehta, he is a quite new chartered accountant who actually molded this idea. And Brinda, who is a CIA and with us for almost more than 10 years, she mentored that entire program, and that is the result now you can see. So thanks a lot. I can only say that technology, you have to use technology for sustaining and growing in future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhakar. Great. Yeah. So far, there are no related party transactions. It's okay. Last but not the least is the productivity award. And I think generally what happens is number of times productivity is not, you can't pinpoint on only one point basically. So you need to look at entire part. And I think indirectly it also covers around innovations that are happening. Also, it covers around technology that you built around, how you absorb that technology into your work. And eventually, it helps you in reduction of cost, optimization of cost, and also probably a better improvement in terms of time and everything on that account. So in that context, we found one company which has done some innovativeness. This particular company is a one-man show as far as Chief Internal Auditor goes. And the entire part of that is done through outsourcing model. So this is something which is a unique kind of thing on that account. So this is one. Second part is, of course, being one person, there is no way it can do without technology on that account. So that technology also is something through which this person is able to cater to India-wide operations without any big challenges. It's a big number of depots they have, big number of departments they have, a big, huge organization, which is in fact a multinational company. And I think we found that their presentation was so unique that it had one person show managing the entire gamut of internal audit without any big glitches on that account. So I think we like that, and eventually a lot of productivity kind of, I would say, savings, and also time and all other things is getting done. We were very impressed by that particular thing. Given a chance, we would have said they are probably one of the best in terms of everything on that account, but we didn't have that category. So we decided to put them into the productivity award things. And I think, may I request Boris to announce the name. You probably, I think by now people must have guessed what it is. At least Big Four accounting firms must be knowing which firm is that, which company is that.
It's Hindustan Unilever Limited, and may I request Hari to please come up.
We Hariharan, we call him Hari. He's a very popular person in our internal audit fraternity. Like the previous two award recipients, we request you, Hari, to also, brief the people what exactly is this.
Really delighted to receive this award from IIA on behalf of HUL. Thank you very much to the jury and the IIA Bombay chapter. Firstly, to set a small brief background, as most of it has been spoken by Nagesh. It's as you all know, HUL is a large and diversified organization. We also have leading industry processes and technology in the company. Also, just to set the context, FMCG sector itself has been facing economic headwinds for about half a decade now. the external regulatory environment and the landscape also adds its own dimensions and new challenges. With the commensurate with the size and complexity of the organization, IIA at HUL also faces its own challenges. Would like to first talk to you about internal audit is in HUL it is called as control assurance. We provide assurance to the management and the audit committee on the areas found to be in order along with the audit findings. So this is a level of kind of an acceptance and assurance being seen from the organization side, and that's why it's called as control assurance. What we do is that we review about 140 units and functional reviews across the country in India. And for the last 1.5 years, I'm also responsible for handling the control assurance operations for South Asia in the other countries as well. This control assurance is fully outsourced to 3 reputed consulting firms. I am the internal anchor providing thought leadership. The firm brings the external expertise, and I bring the business intimacy, and thereby it is being driven in the company. We took a vision to ourselves for control assurance, stating that no surprise and risk control organization is our vision. I would like to talk to you about briefly about the journey towards this vision. Yeah. Based on the assurance review and protecting value, and also seeing being with the quarterly engagements, the organization, control assurance is largely an acceptable function, not seen as only finding faults, because it also protects value and also providing an assurance. That's one of the success factor which I would say towards this journey. The second thing is control assurance inputs are considered for performance evaluation for all the unit management team at the year end. Thereby the consciousness and controls are being embedded across the organization. We leverage technology to enhance the productivity of the team. Centralized reviews through data analytics is a win-win solution for both the team members of the outsourced firms and also for the unit management, because no unit management wants the team to be there for a long time, and also the outsourced firm team members also don't want to travel for a long time. So it's a win-win solution. We leverage technology to provide centralized reviews through data analytics. There are various control dashboards which are being created with the help of the controls manager in the company. Last but not the least, we also impart training and talent development. We invite guest auditors from the business and the function to be part of control assurance stint. For all new hires, it is mandatory for them to do a control assurance stint. We harness synergies between expertise of outsourcing firm and business intimacies from the guest auditors. As Nagesh said, that we reinvest the productivity benefits on process reviews and forensic reviews and enhance the scope for the company and providing assurance to the management. Thank you very much to the jury, and thank you.
Congratulations once again. This is for you.